empowerment we had in our country is unmatchable. In USA, the champion of all these modern things, till 1907, I believe, women did not have voting rights. But in our country, ladies had ladies always had an upper hand. I'm sure you know about uh, the fierce independence of Mother Ganga. Okay, I'm sure you are familiar with other stories that are there in the picture, scriptures. Uh, Ladies made men to dance in front of them. Swayamvar. You all know this is how marriages were solemnized. Uh, Men folk had to prove themselves. Okay, even Lord Rama had to come and prove Arjuna. So we had that kind of system, and now people say we have gender disparity. Right? So that is how we were projected. And recently, I mean, not that recently, in 2002, I was in Ahmedabad, and P. Chidambaram ji came there to deliver a lecture. India is like a lazy elephant, trying to stand up, takes few steps forward, falls down, you hit him, you cajole him, it takes few steps forward and then again falls down. This is how he described India's decadal growth. And uh, he was the former finance minister. He was also the minister for trade and commerce. And a person holding such high position described the country as a lazy elephant which takes few steps forward, falls down. Okay, so basically no hope. All right, basically no hope. But things change, yes. And what was required has been identified, and a lazy elephant now is uh, being projected globally as a smart tiger who can really move fast, and this lazy elephant has become a thing of past. Uh, Chidambaram talked about 4 lost decades. Chidambaram shared a story of uh, lost 4 decades. But now we have to uh, look beyond. Now we are planning basically for next few decades, and lazy elephant has been replaced, or it's being replaced by smart tiger, and that's the thing we have. Uh, Globally also, 44.14% of world population lives in villages or countryside. India has the highest population, we know, 83.3 crores. 65% of local population is living in 6,40,000 villages, I mentioned earlier also. And this 65% population's contribution to GDP is less than 25% urban population. So unless and until this 65% population is activated to contribute for nation's growth, nation cannot grow. We cannot become uh, Viksit Bharat. Multidimensional poverty I was mentioning, poor HDI, unemployment, and several other problems continue to haunt rural areas. Vicious cycle of poverty. Long back when I was doing my master's in economics, I read a quote which is still deeply imprinted in my mind, that in India, people are born poor, people live in poverty, and when they die, they pass on this poverty to the next generation. That was the concept we were basically told. So this vicious circle of poverty has to be broken. A chakravyuh of poverty has to go, and concerted efforts are required. And that is what is the thing I'm going to discuss today. People are poor because they are poor. This is what we learned during our school and college days. And we have to come out of this vicious circle. We have to break this chakravyuh. We have to come out of this. And this will happen through smart villages, because majority of the people still live in villages, and we have to do something for these villages. And this SMART is an acronym. S I have utilized for Samriddh, Samrachna, and Swasth. These three things are important, which most of the villages lacked in past. Now, of course, things are changing. Samriddhi, prosperity in villages. Unless and until villages are prosperous, Samrachna, infrastructure, absence of infrastructure. If infrastructure is not there, prosperity will not be there. And Swasth, Swachhata, say Swasthta, these are the things. Swasth Bharat health facility are to be there. So three S's represent the first uh, letter of this acronym SMART. Second is Manoram Swachh. People in West always prefer staying in countryside. I'm sure you are familiar with that poet Robert Frost. He wrote that two roads diverge into the woods, and I chose the one less traveled by, and that made all the difference. And less traveled by road for Robert Frost was he was from a very affluent family, urbanized family. He decided to settle down in countryside, and that gave him a very different perspective. And he wrote his contribution to literature is immense, and mainly he wrote about nature. Right. So countryside in West means beautiful surroundings, lovely facilities, but in village side I'll share a personal story. My father, who was a doctor, he retired in the year 1984, and he was very much enthused with Churchill's decision to stay in countryside. He said, "I'm going to go back to my village," and our village is near China border in Uttarakhand. Road connectivity was not there. There was no hospital. There was no school. It took really we really had to make a lot of efforts to convince our fathers that there are two things: Western countryside and India's villages. There are two concepts. Now there are no health facility. What you're going to do there? Okay, there are no road connectivity. How in old age? And this is not the plight of my father alone, but this is the plight of almost all Indian villages and Western countryside. They are completely concepts apart. So our villages need, need uh, I mean, cleanliness is a far cry. Atmanirbhar, self-sufficient, again, it's a far cry in villages, which is required. Rashtra Dharma, self-governing unit. We do have panchayats, which basically represents the governance at the grassroots level. But do you think that these panchayats are really doing a great job? During my stint at NIRDs, I was there for 7 long years, and I had the opportunity to visit several panchayats, and many times I lost my temper because I was welcomed by a man in a panchayat which was headed by a lady panchayat, lady pradhan. He said, "I'm pradhan pati." I said, "You get lost." I want to meet. I want to meet actual pradhan, right? She has been elected. Who are you? Pradhan pati ho, bahar jao. So this is the situation. Khali just for namesake, if we are uh, saying that we have empowered women by giving 33% reservation, it's not the real empowerment, right? So, Rashtra Niti, Dharma Niti, Rashtra Niti is to be followed with Rashtra Dharma. Whatever we do, we need to basically do it with full commitment, full dedication. And Takniki Samriddhata is the last T, last letter of this smart village. Technology is a big empowering factor. I'm sure you will be able to recall the statement made by our former Prime Minister, late Rajiv Gandhi ji. He did a good job. He brought computers to India. He played a very important role in introducing IT in our country. But out of utter frustration, he once made a statement that we allocate 100 rupees. By the time it reaches the target group, only 15 rupees are reached. Imagine the pilferage. 85% money is siphoned out en route, and just 15% reaches the target group. If that is the situation, how we can do that? How we can change the country? I'm happy that our present Prime Minister came out with a solution. Right now, we have DBT system, we have technology, we have CSCs operational in every village. So that has brought complete change, and I'll discuss these things. So basically, what we need is for making Bharat a Viksit Bharat, we need smart villages, which should have these things. Uh, Look at this village, so beautiful, and can also be used as a tourist destination. Okay, uh, this is Mawling Nong. How many of you have visited Mawling Nong? Okay, that's great. I'm sure you can vouch for it. I'm not showing those AI created images, right? It's very, very clean. And good things are also contagious. You know, if you find something, we basically prepared a case study, and we help these Mawling people in this their endeavor, and uh, just they capitalize on this cleanliness. When we took up this village in the year 2014 for our case study, 30% people were living below poverty line. There were 442 total, number of people living there, and 80 households. And out of 80 households, 30% people were living below poverty line. They used cleanliness as their USP, converted this into a tourism. NIRD trained them, of course. We trained them. I take pride in mentioning that we provided them training, and they were selling Chinese goods. We said no Chinese goods. Please adopt your local, develop your local products. Okay, so they are doing a wonderful job now. There is hardly, you know, uh, anyone living below poverty line there. There were just one rest house at that point in time. Now more than 40 homestays are there. Okay, so the village is doing wonderful job. So cleanliness was the USP, and I was mentioning that every good thing has rippling effect. Their nearby village Revai, which was basically using this living root bridge as their USP. Now they have also subscribed to this cleanliness thing. They say clean village with additional charm of uh, river living root bridge, which forced Mawling Nong to add on to their USP. Now they say it's not just the cleanest, but the most beautiful village. They engage 6 gardeners who are ensuring round the year flowers there. So they say it's not just the cleanest, but also the most beautiful village. So rippling effect it has. Nearby villages are also becoming very clean. Places to plan. Okay? So people meet and decide what is required to be done. I'll talk about one very unique panchayat system little later. Uh, uh, Little later. So basically, idea of having governance at grassroots level is to give, to convert dreams of villages into reality. They will discuss. They will decide what they want, not person sitting in Delhi. Okay, and that is why from Planning Commission we have changed to Niti Aayog. Planning Commission was top-down approach. Niti Aayog is bottom-up approach. Smart villages. Now I'm happy to see that in villages people work on laptop. Okay, they use this for planning purpose, and I'll discuss a little later how do they use it. This is a smart village is an ambitious framework attempt to transform rural areas into economically, socially and physically sustainable space, and which basically uh, has uh, impact in the overall development of the region. Prime Minister Modi made a very important statement in the year 2014 when he took over as the Prime Minister. He says the aspirations of the people living in villages are no less than aspirations are those living in cities. After all, they are also citizens of this country. They also need to have equal access to all these facilities. So their aspirations are no different from the people living in cities. So we need to treat them like that. We need to extend all those facilities to our uh, people living in our rural areas also. They want a certain quality of life, good education, healthcare, electricity, internet, and entertainment options. And with this vision, he has come out with our Prime Minister is a very techno-savvy person, and he uh, always lays emphasis on technology and integration of several key interventions in infrastructure and service delivery. And then only we can reach out to the person at, sitting at the last mile. Some focus areas that our model villages or smart villages are trying to cover: basic services, water supply, sanitation, sewage, solid waste, uh, maintenance of community assets, roads, footpaths. These are the basic things that every village requires or dreams of. Sanitation, water supply, uh, economic development, and poverty reduction. Uh, you know, these two SDGs are the basic of those 17 SDGs, Sustainable Development Goals. SDG 1 is zero poverty, SDG 2 is zero hunger. Okay? So, economic development, poverty reduction, human development, education, skill development, health, nutrition, these are the things. Uh, Poverty is not the only thing that needs to be basically confronted with. We need to tackle, we need to uh, confront many other things so that villages become self-sustainable, they become self-reliant. That Gandhian concept of self-reliant villages or Gram Swaraj will be a reality only when we go for complete human development. Social development, inclusiveness, okay? Inclusiveness, and GPDP and SDGs, Sustainable Development Goals, should be a part of our planning at grassroots level. And students or social work would know GPDP is Gram Panchayat Development Plan. Uh, every panchayat has to have their own plan. It's not that Prime Minister will give their plans. They have to decide uh, what is required there in their village. I'll talk about Jumsa, a very unique concept of grassroots level governance, little later. Ecology and environment. Climate change is a reality. Climate change is posing a major threat, and it has to be. It will not happen only during Earth Summit, but it has to be taken care of by each and every person uh, living in each and every part of the world, right? So at grassroots level, ecology and environment has to be a part of our rural planning. Public service delivery, it should be very, very efficient. Not that we allocate 100 rupees and it by the time it reaches, it is reduced to 15 rupees. So public delivery system should be good. You must have heard about many scams. TDS, public distribution system, public distribution scam was in news in Northeast. People amassed wealth. I remember having visited Kurumkume village in Arunachal Pradesh during one of my research projects, and a kg of salt was being sold for 200 rupees. So people stopped consuming salt. Can you imagine? Gandhiji carried out this salt satyagraha way back in 30s, and Kurumkume in 21st century People of Kurum Kume were, getting salt at the rate of 200 rupees, which was beyond their purchasing power. And that is happening because items which were supposed to be sent to those areas through public distribution system were basically taken away by few selfish politicians. All right. So it's a bad governance. It's a bad governance, right? So public delivery system has to be spruced up. Good governance should be in place. Skill building, women and child protection and development, uh, special planning. Fortunately, our government is doing a wonderful job. Now we have, ISRO. We have NESO in Northeast Space Agency, NESA or NESO. I'm not very sure. Now planning is very easy. Planning is very easy. We have this GIS, remote sensing. We have satellite imagery present now. Uh, can anyone help me by telling the name of Brahmaputra that falls down from Tibet? Just check quickly. Sangpo, River Sangpo, right? River Sangpo is the river that flows through the Pathars of Tibet, and it disappears. It disappears in deep forest, and people did not know whether it goes to Myanmar or Brahmaputra is the same, or Siang River as it is known in Arunachal. Whether Sangpo is the same Siang or it goes to Myanmar. 3 kilometers stretch was completely covered with dense forest, inaccessible, and that was known as the mystery of missing links. Mystery of missing links. British During British time, East India Company sent several, uh, expeditions. Many lives were lost, and after long struggle, they could establish that okay, Sangpo is Siang. That's the same. But now, if it is to be done today, it can be done within fraction of seconds. We get those satellite imagery, and we can do that. So immediately, if village planning is required, we can have this GIS RIS system. So all these things. So technology is to be used at every level, at grassroots level. E-enabled panchayats uh, will help definitely in decision making. I'll come to it a little later. Infrastructure development. Without infrastructure, you cannot move very far. Right? So good roads and other things are required. What makes a village smart? Last mile access to basic amenities and services. The Pura concept of late APJ Abdul Kalam ji. Optimum utilization of local assets with sustainability. Uh, During my uh, post graduation time, in the there was a subject called economic growth and development, and that time we used to categorize countries in three, four categories: developed countries, developing countries, and underdeveloped countries. Okay? So underdeveloped developing economies were the economies where they were not able to use their resources. They can use their resources, locally available resources, which will catapult them to this level of developed nation, but they were not able to use that. Optimal utilization was not there. What is required is to use local resources. If you are able to use local resources optimally, balanced regional development will happen, right? So that is required. Livelihood and employment opportunities. Uh, when we talk about rural villages, I hail from Uttarakhand, and Uttarakhand villages are facing a very unique problem. First, I mean, there are no scope for employment there. There are little opportunities for livelihood. So first, young people left villages to join armed forces, and only ladies were left in the villages. So that was the stage I term as feminization of villages. Okay? So Uttarakhand villages became only feminized villages. And then after some time, ladies also got fed up. I said, males are working in Indian Army, they are going out for jobs. Why should we live this miserable life? They also left and joined their husband or their family members. And with the leaving of these women, these villages have been termed as ghost villages. Alright? Now there are so many villages which are being termed as ghost villages. I was quite uh, during one of my uh, uh, during my stint at NIRD in Guwahati, I was given the charge of Himachal and Uttarakhand also. So in Uttarakhand, I found one village which boasted, which boasts of 100% graduate population. I just checked that village little. I went a little deeper, and that turned out to be my own village in Pithoragarh district. And what was the total population? Just 9 people. Just 9 people. Our own house, which my grandfather, our great grandfather, must have built, is lying in a very dilapidated state. I went there and found out that this is like actual ghost villages. So this is what is happening because there are no livelihood options, there are no employment opportunities. Uh, Knowledge is going to help. Knowledge or education is the best empowering factor, and it's not just the modern knowledge but traditional knowledge as well. I would like to give the example of a Pipli village in Garhwal. Pipli village in Garhwal is basically known for their traditional system of Sanskrit knowledge, and they are also good in astrology. So, but that again, village was also going through the same uh, out migration. But then there was one young chap. There is one young chap, Dr. Dabral, Mr. Dabral, Sandeep Dabral, probably. He just thought something. Why not develop this village as a Sanskrit village and as a village where uh, astronomy can be their USP, and he marketed it well. And now Pipli village in Garhwal is frequented by so many people. They go with their Janapatris, and also they want. And now a lot of homestays have also come up there. Village is thriving. So traditional knowledge has enough potentials to make us rich, to turn our economy around. Skill development, various types of skills, technology and infrastructure, of course, there, linking with programs and schemes. There are so many schemes that government offers, but unfortunately do not know how to use it. I'll discuss this a little later. Building institutions, we need to develop institutions. I'll again talk about it by giving example of Sergaon of Arunachal Pradesh. Accountability and transparency. Lot of money was looted. 85%, uh, you know, uh, siphoned off. 85% of the allocated amount was siphoned off because of no transparency, because of no accountability. But now, with the help of geotagging, I'm sure you know that in Prime Minister Awas Yojana, money is allocated in three levels. First, one plinth is ready, then only first installment is given. Second, walls are created. You have to share those pictures in Bhuvan portal. Is it Bhuvan still or some other portal is there? Okay. So Bhuvan portal we have to upload these information in Bhuvan portal, and then once it is convinced, date, longitude, latitude, and everything is to be there, and then only third. So there is no basically scope for misappropriation of funds. So accountability and transparency is there. Smart decisions and actions. As I mentioned, there are dedicated portals there in the Ministry of Rural Development. What is the scale of? I mean, you name any village, you just put the name of that village, and that will give you complete details. What is the level of electrification? What is the level of Sagi? What is the level of Prime Minister Sadak Yojana, all details would be there in that portal. So absolute transparency, and that helps in decision making. Panchayat can now uh, refer to that data if, say, electrification is done only up to 90%. Remaining 10% households are there with that who are not having electricity. So Panchayat must focus on that. If so, all these things. If the 50% work is yet to be done in Sagi or maybe in Prime Minister Awas Yojana, whatever. So names of potential beneficiaries are there on their computer. So that's how they can plan. They can take decisions, smart decision making, and partnership. Uh, we need to partner with several organizations which can help. So basically, collaborative work, partnership, and network always works, right? At village level also, we need to create good network, and network works. All right? Aim to smartness village will quickly go through this because offering basic facilities, enabling uh, access to clean water, sanitation, ensure access to sustainable energy services, optimize. These are the things that uh, basically we try to achieve. These are ingrained in the concept of smart village, optimization of use and natural resources. We have discussed this. Transformed villages are the smart villages. Right? Villages need complete transformation. We cannot afford to reconcile with the idea that India is a country of no toilets. We cannot reconcile with the idea any longer that India is a country of sadhus and beggars. No, a big no to that, right? So we have to have transformed villages, then only we can say that. So smart governance, uh, environment development, Mother Earth has no favorite children. If dinosaurs can become extinct, human beings can also be, right? So we have to, Gandhiji once mentioned that Mother Nature can take care of our needs, but not to our greeds. And we are becoming very greedy. We are becoming very greedy, and I'm sure we are inviting troubles. Yes, sir. Oh, yeah, good. So Mother Nature can take care of her needs, right? And so we have to respect Mother Nature, environment, economic development, uh, creating opportunities by using local resources, optimal utilization of resources. Unused resources are complete resource waste. If we are not utilizing resources properly, that means we are wasting our resources. Social development, no discrimination of any kind, not on any basis, gender basis, caste basis, inclusive development should be there, and human development, uh, empowering people with skill, empowering people with good education, empowering people with wisdom. So these are the things we envisage when we talk about smart governance. There are many SDGs. Uh, I need not dwell in details. So many SDGs, and in Niti Ayog, there is a pet phrase: planning, whatever we are planning, it has to be seen through the lenses of SDGs. Whatever we are planning. I am into education. You all are associated with academic institutes. Our activities should relate with uh, SDG 4, that is quality education. But at the same time, many other things we need to do. So every planning has to go through the lenses of SDGs. This is what Niti Ayog prescribes, right? So all SDGs we need to keep in mind. Smart energy, smart connectivity, smart agriculture and allied sectors, smart education, smart health, environment, infrastructure, technology and skill, e-enabled digital services. Have you heard about this, Bunsari? Huh? Bunsari cannot. Okay, I'll talk about it. I'll talk about it later. Bunsari is the first model village or first smart village in the country, right? Elements of model converging government schemes. SRK, it's not Sarukh Khan. It's SR Khandu Panchayat of Sikkim. All right. Uh, I visited SR Khandu Panchayat there, and I was amazed to see that they utilized government schemes so beautifully, convergence of different schemes. Now, SR Khandu Panchayat organizes Rhododendron Festival in the month of April or May. Rhododendron is one flower which blooms in the month of uh, May, crimson red, very beautiful flower. So they are organizing one rhododendron fest in the month of April or May. And how they are able to manage this, and it's a big attraction. People go there that month. It's a small village, but they receive large number of tourists there during that rhododendron fest. They have utilized MG Narega for building infrastructure. They have utilized Pradhan Mantri Sadak Yojana scheme. They have roped in forest department for developing rhododendron forest, and at the same time they have also roped in tourism department, which helps them in organizing this uh, rhododendron festival. So 4 or 5 schemes converged to make this rhododendron fest a major attraction in Sikkim. All right? Every village can think of this kind of thing. It's not that SR Khandu can do that. Other villages can also think of their USPs. Uh, Mawling did that. Uh, Revai did that. And Kong Kong village. Have you heard about Kong Kong village? Anybody? Have you heard about Whistling village of Meghalaya? That is Kong Kong. Okay. So they have developed their own USP. Uh, I mean, I'm getting a chance to share these things after a long time. So let me say that one. When a child is born in Kong Kong village, along with the child, a tune, a whistling tune is also created. Very unique. Same tune will not be used for any other person. And when that person dies, that signature tune also dies. Imagine the creativity of people. See, this is the IKS, Indian knowledge system. They have been following this system since time immemorial, right? Can any, maybe AI and all, it will take them time to replicate this kind of uniqueness, right? And because they call each other by name, by this whistle tune, this has become their USP, and this village is attracting large number of tourists, and as a result, good number of homestays have come up, good number of restaurants have come up, and things are being done in a very sustainable manner, and economy of this village is completely transformed. And there is a system in uh, Khasi village. Khasi village is, what is that peculiar thing in Khasi? Matra Sattatmat, right? When girls, once a person is married, men would go to their village, right? So reverse things have happened here in these villages because nobody wants to leave. Even girls want to leave their village. So all damads are coming to these villages, right? So this is how our culture also evolves, right? So anyway, yeah. I was talking about this SR Khandu. Convergence is very important. Focusing on outcomes and sustainability. Sustainability is the buzzword because we cannot take nature for granted. Okay, as I mentioned, Mother Nature doesn't have any favorite children. If dinosaurs can become extinct, So, and B, protecting local traditions and heritage. Uh, we need to basically protect our cultural strength. We are, especially this northeast region, is not only rich in biodiversity, it is even richer in cultural diversity. And our country, Bharat, is very, very rich in cultural diversity. We have very strong traditions. And now government is giving emphasis on IKS, right? If we forget our own culture, loss of culture is loss of identity. Right? Uh, when I came to Barak Valley, Silchar, I learned that we have one village where Sanskrit is spoken. Right? I asked many people, not many people knew it. But then, thanks to our mass comm department, they made a film called Dharohar, covering that Anipur and Patiala Gaon, and credit goes to him. It is Professor Gobinji who told me that there is a village where Sanskrit is spoken. And then it is with their initiative, we have been able to capture that, and we have to make it sustainable. Okay? I have mentioned here Jongu. Jongu is a village in Sikkim, North Sikkim. The original people of Sikkim are Lepchas. Okay, Lepchas are the original, people of Sikkim, and now there are many other people are there, and Lepchas are reduced to minority. So, uh, the former king of Sikkim, uh, I'm forgetting his name, uh, Gyalmo, and yeah, the former king or the last king of Sikkim. He basically uh, created a sanctuary for Jongu uh, people, for these Lepcha people in Jongu. You, whenever you're going to Sikkim next time, try to visit Jongu, but you need a special pass. Without permit, you cannot enter this. There are two, three villages uh, which are inhabited by these Lepcha people. Exclusive, pure Lepcha blood you'll find only in, right? So we need to protect our culture. We need to protect our originality by giving this kind of protection. Otherwise, loss of culture is loss of identity is loss of culture is loss of identity. We'll be asking who I am after some time, right? And this is what is IKS is trying to do. Smart livelihood options, smart business, okay, smart institutions, smart planning. I have already mentioned about use of RIS, GIS, and uh, satellites, smart governance, volunteerism, and partnership. Uh, Again, I'll take you to a village in Arunachal Pradesh. When you go to, how many of you have heard about Arunachal Pradesh? सबने सुना होगा तवांग. How many of you have visited Tawang? Okay, on the way to Tawang, there is a village called Sergaon. Very close to Dirang, and in between Dirang and Bombila, we take a detour. There, they have formed one small NGO called Gurung Thak. Gurung Thak, right? And uh, they are volunteering. They are well off people. All the young people, they are well off, and they come out with some wonderful schemes to protect their culture. They have developed they have developed a small museum. They have collected artifacts from uh, all the households which were having these rare items, and they have converted that into a museum. Every year, they organize programs to honor their elderly people. They organize programs to honor ladies, mothers. See, what a wonderful tradition they have. Keeping they're keeping these great traditions alive. So volunteerism, young people have to volunteer to maintain. Otherwise, with the passing off of senior generation, all these things will be forgotten, right? So volunteerism is required in these villages. Smart behavior, self pride. You go to Mawling Nong, you have been to Mawling Nong, try to litter that place. What happens? They don't shout at you. Believe me, they have been trained not to shout at tourists. They'll pick it up, they'll say thank you, and they will dump it in dustbin. Even a small child will see anything there, they'll pick up and say thank you. It's okay, so that you are embarrassed. Okay, so take pride, self pride that we belong to the cleanest village. That kind of pride we need to develop in. Uh, okay? For example, we are here in Assam University. Take great pride in being a student of Assam University. Right? We are nationals of Bharat. Take pride in being Bharat. Right? And with these, this smart village Assam, this is the vision they were having and objective. I need not discuss this in details. Uh, same thing because they have come out with smart village concept. Many of their panchayats, especially Khetri panchayat, got the first prize at national level also. They have bagged many. In Assam, panchayats are doing very well. Okay, many panchayats are doing very well, and they have been able to achieve their targets. They are able to project their tangible outcomes, and that's why they are recognized as panchayat, better delivery and all that. Okay. Yeah, quickly I'll run through this slide. Some framework of model smart village by Government of India. Sansad Adarsh Gram Yojana. Have you heard about the Sagi scheme? With the coming of Modi ji as the Prime Minister, he launched this Sansad Adarsh Gram Yojana. He said in Parliament we have 545 MPs, I believe, or more. Anyway, somewhere close to this number, 545 or 550, whatever. Every MP will adopt one or two villages. And it would be their responsibility to see that these villages become model villages, these villages come out of this uh, acute poverty which they have been living in. Okay? So Sagi, but sorry to say that this program has not been very successful because of traditional mindset of our honorable members of parliament. They are more uh, focused on doing politics rather than development. But there are some good success stories have emerged. And our finance minister, present finance minister, Nirmala Sitharamanji, she adopted two villages in 2014, in the year 2014. And we had the privilege to go for this impact analysis of this SAGI. That's why I'm saying this is not my own version that I'm not happy with this work of MPs. But NIRD carried out impact analysis of this and found out that majority of the MPs faltered. There are few success stories that emerged, and one of the success stories uh, was scripted by Nirmala Sitharamanji. She adopted two villages in Godavari district, and those villages are doing wonderfully. Right? So every MP can do that. Every member of parliament can do that with little bit of vision and with little bit of commitment.
Is it still on?
Sorry?
Is it still on or it's become
It's on still, but not very. It's in a very dormant state, and I'm sure once Modi ji will, you know, I'm sure it is there in his radar. Okay? Another Syama Prasad Mukherjee, Rurban. Rurban is also not very successful. The idea was basically to take urban amenities to rural areas. Uh, uh, our Prime Minister had this vision to, but anyway, it's happening gradually. It will take a little time, but I would not rate this, or basically the team that did the impact analysis was not very convinced with this. Digital smart villages, yes, this scheme is quite successful. We have telemedicine, teleeducation, and during COVID time, naturally got a big push digital smart villages. And this scheme did wonders. When Prime Minister started this Jan Dhan Yojana, every citizen, everybody was criticizing and everyone was skeptical. कैसे इतने करोड़ लोगों को ये खुलवा देंगे? And when he started this UPI thing, again he received a bitter criticism again from a lot of political bigwigs. But today, our country is the biggest user of UPI payments. Do you agree with me? We are the largest user of this. And in every village, we have now CSCs. Right? And people are getting, again, I'll give you, okay, let me complete it later. Mission Antyodaya. Uh, this mission was launched. Antyodaya means reaching out the unreached, last person. And it's the 29, 27. This was a product of conversion of
Development framework.
Yes,
Yeah.
she was saying she was giving her
Okay.
interpretation.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. 27 ministries, 29 subjects were there. Uh, and buzzword was saturation level. Everything, whether it is electrification. Earlier, we had uh, Rajiv Gandhi Vidyutikaran Yojana. And idea was, even if we have taken one electrical pole to a village was termed as electrified. But in this case, now the concept has changed. Unless and until 100% people are, covered, village will not be termed as completely electrified or completely Swachh, uh, ODF or something like that. I can say that with confidence because during this mission Antyodaya, I was monitoring Himachal and Uttarakhand. In Uttarakhand, in one of the villages, I went there. That village could not get uh, the status of electrified village because one person was not there in that village. 99% people were present. Their village, their house, their homes were electrified. One person was missing. So engineers, bankers, they all were present there in that village on that day, Mera Gaon in Nainital district. Finally, they rushed to fetch that person. आजा भाई तेरे घर में भाग भाग की कौन सी योजना था बल्ब लगाना है तेरे घर में पकड़ के लाए उसको हल्द्वानी से. Okay, and then only that village could get the status of electrified village. So buzzword is saturation level. Unless and until a scheme is covered to saturation level, there is no success. That's it. So this is, basically, if you want to make Bharat a Viksit Bharat, we need to convert villages into smart villages. This is not the end. This is not the last slide. Please be more patient. I'll take you to a visit to different villages. Right? Develop a self-sustainable and viable, rather than looking up to others, rather than going out for seeking employment. We need to create employment. Okay, I submitted a plan to Uttarakhand government. Mr. Rawat was the president at that point in time. They can learn many things from Northeast. This plan I submitted, what kind of things you can learn from Northeast. Northeast doesn't experience out migration to that extent. Doesn't experience. Maulinong people would not like to leave Maulinong. Kong people will not like to leave Kong village. Right? Same way, Gwalpada, there are some good villages in there. They would not leave. Okay. Sergaon people will not leave Sergaon. Mechuka people will not leave Mechuka. They'll remain there. Why people are leaving Uttarakhand villages? Because there are no opportunities there. They have not been able to create opportunities. So I submitted this paper, but anyway, fell victim to typical bureaucratic traps. Okay. Anyway, self-sustainable and viable model for smart villages and design technology solution. Technology is the thing. The government of India now is transferring fund. How? DBT, direct benefit transfer. Now every person is having account through Jan Dhan Yojana, and during COVID time, you have witnessed how so many lives were saved by giving them direct uh, benefits to this. Okay. Mainstream village communities, rural institutions in designing a smart village. Mainstream village communities, as our Prime Minister mentioned, that their aspirations are no different from the aspirations of city people. Right? So they have to be brought to mainstream. However, I am heavily impressed uh, with the former Chief Minister of Sikkim's statement. Uh, he once commented that people say that we need to connect with the mainstream. But the Sikkim is the mainstream for me, not Delhi. If Delhi wants to connect with us, Delhi can come here. But for me, Sikkim is the mainstream. So we have to develop that kind of confidence, and Sikkim is doing a wonderful job. Sikkim is one of the uh, Sikkim is the first state which subscribed to this organic farming. Sikkim is the first uh, uh, state which became completely ODF, open defecation free state. Sikkim and Goa are competing neck to neck in becoming the highest GDP or something. I'm not very sure what is the status now. I'm talking little, uh, uh, you know, highest uh, per capita. Sorry, not per capita, completely poverty-free state, complete poverty. So mainstream, we have to develop that kind of thing. We must uh, feel that this is the mainstream. We are there. Viksit village, Viksit Bharat, this is it. And now I take you to a tour which is unbelievingly true. Which is unbelievingly true. All right. Can you see this office, exterior and interior of this office? Okay. This is the office of Mallidara Panchayat in Sikkim. Okay. You enter there and you have a feel that you are in a top corporate office. Okay. And they have begged national award 3-4 times. Now they are fed up. Is it now done? बहुत बार मिल गया prize. Okay. So Mallidara Panchayat and convergence, ITC, name anything that makes a village smart, and they are doing it. And that is what makes Sikkim one of the best states in the country. This is Jongu. No, this is SRK. This is SR Khandu Panchayat. And I interacted with all the Panchayat members there, and majority of the people present were ladies. I asked them, do you need some kind of reservation here in Panchayat? The lady named Rekha Sharma, I still remember. He said, sir, ask these menfolk if they want any reservation. We don't. We're already there. That kind of confidence will bring the real empowerment. That kind of thing will really make Bharat a Viksit Bharat, right? So things are happening. Things are happening. Now you can see this again. This is again Mallidara. Every panchayat, it is mandatory. It is mandatory that display what kind of funds have been received and where these funds have been utilized. So everything has to be displayed, right? That is what brings more transparency. So people can, while walking also, people can know what kind of funding panchayats received and where it was used. So it's not that they can manipulate any longer. Okay, and you can see on the left side that is CSC, completely ICT enabled panchayat. See the details of these schemes, how much money was received, how much was consumed, and all that. Okay? What's happening?
सर अगर कुछ इलेक्ट्रिसिटी का प्रॉब्लम हो रहा है अच्छा तो वो जो बोर्ड है उसमें इलेक्ट्रिसिटी नहीं आ रहा
अच्छा कोई नहीं
वो उसमें चलेगा सर ऑनलाइन में
ठीक है And this is the village, the first smart village of a country.
चल रहा है सर, चल.
वहाँ चल रहा है ना? Okay, that's fine. That's fine. So this is village Punsari, Sardar Patel Pravesh Dwar. You can see here. And Himanshu Patel is the Gram Panchayat, Gram Pradhan, and he is a graduate, very techno-savvy person. And he says that our village is so clean that I challenge anyone coming to village that if one finds even a single mosquito in the village, I'll award them rupees 1 lakh. Okay, see the confidence of this person. चलेगा वो? ठीक है, खोल दो, so that they can also see this.
Sir, they can see. They can see, sir.
अच्छा, so their
Computer में on.
Yes. What about these people? Yeah. ये तो सामने तो यही बैठे ना मेरे. No problem. We'll just wait and 5 minutes में हो
2
जाएगा.
minutes.
Great. So this him. I have 5 more minutes. Himanshu Patel is an educated person. He's a very modern thinker, and wherever he gets any support from, and he grabs it. That is his strength. And we need this kind of leaders, not that Pradhan Pati types doing nothing and just utilizing panchayat for their own. Now, anyway, gone are the days where these people can manage. So he has beautified the village. They have the volunteers. And believe me, if you go to Punsari village, yeah, this village, you can see this. If you go to Punsari village, you will not find it less cleaner than Mauling. All right, I have visited both the villages, and you will not find this less cleaner than Mauling. They also have their own set of volunteers. This is Sardar Patel Dwar. You enter through this and enjoy being in Punsari. The first OTF, open defecation free village, the first smart village, and what else do they have? Solar energy, solar lit village completely. And now you can see this CC cameras installed everywhere. And another very innovative thing that he did, he has a control room. He has a control room. Initially, when they were basically going for making Punsari ODF, open defecation free, but old habits die hard, So some people would go out in the morning, and then he will make an announcement. Mr. So and so, you are under the radar. We have seen you going out, and immediately 500 rupees fine was imposed. Okay, so his name was announced, and his name was pasted on the walls, on the notice board. Within months' time, it became a complete OTF. So we have to use ideas, right? And doctors visit regularly. Smart villages means proper healthcare, protection of women, protection of children, and that is what is being done there in Sari village. Okay. And there are so many other villages also, but time is there. I'm supposed to be at by till 1. So thank you all.
Thank you so much, sir. Sir initially in the beginning said that how his topic is going to connect with our theme. So the entire idea of model village that you presented, and one of the recent trends in not just language studies and social sciences, in higher education institutions through the national education policy is community engagement. And this idea of higher education institutions doing community engagement and developing, you know, in a way they can aim towards developing model villages. So that is a uh, sir. Can you just mute for a second? No, no, उधर में. So, the session was especially, we feel that with regard to education and more ICT literacy in the communities, the higher education institutions can take cue from your presentations, and all our participants are a part of some higher education institution, so they can take this idea to their uh, authorities, and probably this can, this will help a great way in the vision of developing rural India. So thank you so much, sir, for your deliberation. And now we request participants to please raise questions. Already there's one question in the box which sir will address.
Well, Dafi Likoji has asked a question that she belongs to Meghalaya, and non-griat living root base is being frequented by so many people, which definitely is a threat to ecology or ecosystem of that place. Am I correct? Uh,
Yes, sir.
how to manage it in a sustainable manner so that people can continue to benefit from this? That's great. Yeah. Uh, nothing. If we give something free to our people, it is not really given due importance. Uh, we have Bhutan model of tourism. Okay? They go for high-end tourism. Uh, take selected people, invite selected people, because ecology is very pristine, very precious, and once lost, it is many species become extinct. So we have to be very careful. Allow limited number of people, or even if large number of people are coming, develop a responsible tourism model. Highlight do's and don'ts very clearly, so that they are not having a free run. I remember having uh, uh, witnessed how ruthlessly sometimes tourists destroy our nature. Right? So please sit together, identify uh, uh, what should be the do's and don'ts, and what should be the how responsible tourism can be introduced, so that places their attraction becomes a sustainable one. Have I been able to answer your question? Or
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
thank you.
Namaskar, sir.
Yes. Yeah.
Sir, this is Joydeep from Government Model College, Borkola.
Yes,
Sir,
please go.
actually, from Department of Sociology, we have adopted one village in our local area nearby our college, and we have identified some traditional practices that are going to be extinct from the society. That is kata stitch, or regarding Nokshi kata, what I'm telling to say. Sir, we have developed a plan to introduce a project for the development of this. So, how can we introduce IKS in this, sir, for the development of the villagers? Sir, can you just suggest something, sir?
There is no tailor-made solution to this problem. I'm not very sure what kind of things you have identified. In research, first thing that we need to do is to identify the problem. No? So what are the problems involved? And accordingly, you have to come out with customized solution. Right? Yeah. Every village has certain, traditional knowledge, and I always believe that they know more than me. Right? So try to understand what solutions they have been following uh, since ages, and if they can be amalgamated with modern practices also, you can think of that. But if you can give me specific problems, then we can give
Okay,
specific
sir.
solutions.
Thank you, sir.
Villagers know they are very smart. They know they have the solution. Okay, and we can
Yeah,
simply
actually, it is a intergenerational problem, sir. Generation wise, the knowledge they are having,
Mhm.
they, that is going to be extinct from the future generation. So that's why we're
Okay,
trying to bridge that gap, sir.
okay. What I suggest that you make an inventory of uh, available knowledge there, and if you can document those practices, that will definitely save them from extinction. Right? Identify what kind of practices they are having, traditional practices, what kind of indigenous knowledge they are having. Make an inventory of that, and document those things, and uh, analyze it scientifically, so that future generation also starts believing in the goodness of those. Right? Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Anybody else?
Sir, good afternoon. This is Dr. Ajay from Faculty of Law, Banaras Hindu University.
Good afternoon, Dr. Ajay. How are you?
Sir, it was an excellent lectures you have given. You have guided us definitely. One thing I wanted to. You are such a senior person, not only as an academician, sir. You are looking as administration as well. So generally in my mind, apart of definitely you have touched every aspects. There will be no questions on that. But one thing I wanted to, I'm having curious about it, sir. My question is that generally we are looking, we are doing research like I have done my PhD. Many assistant professors done PhD, but here I do have a number of committees in BHU itself, and I found that we do have a number of research scholar, number of PhD thesis, but still we are lacking in research. So being an administrator, being a senior academician, what would be your suggestion to improve the research, sir? Like we do have a student also, sir, research scholar. Now you are height of the administration, so definitely you should guide us.
Uh, well, many times people are involved in doing research for enhancing their API, academic performance index, so that they get promoted. Right? That is one research. But recently, last year I had gone to Vietnam with Indian delegation, and we visited 7 universities. And the last university that we visited was headed by a lady. They call it president. Vice chancellor is called the president of the university. When we interacted with her, she categorically told me, Professor Pant, I am a very greedy person. I don't allow research which doesn't bring any money to the university. I said, then how do your researchers bring money to the university? She said, I send my researchers to industry to find out what problems they are facing, right? To find out what problems they are struggling with, and then they come, they try to find solutions to those problems, and in return they get patents. And in last 1 year, I earned. That lady was telling me, in last 1 year we got $3 million as the royalty. So research, actual research is that one. No, uh, I'm very happy to share that not in terms of money, but many good researchers are going to villages, and they are doing research in the area of rural development. I would like to give one example here. NIRD offers, National Institute of Rural Development and Panchayati Raj offers a PG diploma program. Uh, for 1 month, they send their students to remote local areas, and they attach one mentor also. So I had the opportunity of being mentor of one boy and one girl in Meghalaya, William Nagar district, and they were placed in a very remote area. They they were not allowed to go out of that village for complete 1 month. They lived with villagers. They fetched water from the stream. They lived in huts. They experienced uh, their life. Okay? And 1 month time, the total outcome of their work was a real good research piece. We need to have that kind of research. feel for the region, feel for the people, feel for the purpose you are doing that research, not just for API. Okay, I'm sure you'll be able to do great research.
And thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much.
I guess we've taken a lot of time from sir, and therefore we should, call it a day for him. Because just for our course, because for him the day ends very late, I guess. So now I request Dr. Subhash Sinha to please
Yes.
declare the vote of thanks.
Good afternoon to all. Myself, Dr. Subhash Sinha, Principal in charge and Head of the Department of Economics, Swami Vivekananda College, Chankirasipur. It is a great opportunity for me to speak something about this. I'd like to convey my heartiest gratitude and thanks to Sir Sri Rajiv Mohan Pant, Honorable Vice Chancellor of Assam University, for his insightful and inspiring lectures on Vikasit Bharat through rural development. This session highlights the crucial role of rural development in shaping a progressive, cleanliness, and self-reliance nation. Sir, your address understood the importance of community participation, sustainable growth, and educational empowerment in achieving the vision of a developed India. I also pay my sincere thanks to the organizers, esteemed faculty members, and participants for making these sessions a success. Thank you, sir. Thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. It was really a pleasure talking with you all. Bye bye.